Going to the next page. This is an example and description of how actually logging in to Aim High's website works. There are two different people that are ever going to log into this website and log in consistently on a daily basis. One is a student athlete, and B is a college university coach. The first thing I want to cover with you is the high school student athlete and what they can expect to see and exactly what happens. Once they put their login and password in, you'll notice to the left here, they're going to have the Student Athlete Center. Within that is where they're going to be able to view their own personal profile. They're going to be able to navigate to the Resource Center. They're going to have their Facebook and Twitter links here. Now keep in mind that that's a big social network that's becoming more popular every single day in the country. Now the only time that athletes can really view and talk about each other's profiles and what's going on is through their Facebook and Twitter pages. They can blog and help each other out and let each other know what's working well for them in their markets, different tools, techniques that seem to be getting them some exposure and some extra response rates, so they can all work their resource centers individually, communicate it through their Facebook and Twitter pages. So once again, it's just another great way to help them get that exposure. Last but not least in the box, you're going to see the Athlete of the Month. We profile and we select different athletes from all across the country. We have an Athlete of the Month section. We try to get everybody involved in that at the growth rate that Aim High is receiving at this point in time. It is tough to touch every single athlete every single month, but periodically we do try to rotate and have a nice revolving page so that all the athletes can receive an Athlete of the Month. Just gets them a little more exposure. Sometimes the coaches go there first before they go into the actual system. From there, they're also going to be able to get into the Resource Center. And some of the things that you're going to find in the Resource Center, questions and answers to every how do I, when do I, complete list of tips. That's where they're going to find a list of the colleges and universities. They're also going to have those sample letters that they're going to be able to forward with their profiles to that coach at the university that they've selected after going through the Research Center, doing some work on that university. First and foremost, they're going to be able to go and be able to visit a university's link and website so that they can study the academics that are offered at that particular school and make sure that for what they want to study at the next level is even available. Once they get that information, they can take it a step further. They'll be able to go in, they'll actually be able to look at the athletic department, they can select the sport that he or she's involved with, they can get a good history and background of that athletic department, see if it's something that they're comfortable with. If they like what they see, they can then simply are going to be able to cut and paste that coach's email address. They'll be able to bring it right back within their profile. And once they do that, they can pick a letter within the sample letters that they want to send along with that. So once they send that letter, within the letter, and obviously for the first time, we have a phenomenal introductory letter about the student athlete. And it gives the coach at the next level, once he opens his email and he starts to read this letter, gives him a great understanding and an idea of exactly what the athlete is like, what their expectations are, and how they found out about the school and how they've done the research. They like the academics involved, they liked what they saw in the athletic program, and they'd like to have the opportunity to start to build a relationship with that school. If the coach likes what he sees or she sees and they like what they've read, they can simply click a link, and there's a direct link that takes them automatically right back into Aim High Incorporated's profile system. And right then and there is when the student athlete's profile is viewed by the student or by the college coach at the university level, sitting right at he or she's desk at their fingertips. They now have all of the tools they need to start building those relationships and find out the character of an individual, all the academics, all the athletic history, clubs, camps, combines, game film, highlight footage, personal statements, mission statements. Everything needed to be viewed at the university level is now right at the coach's fingertips. There is no easier way in the country to connect the high school student athlete to the college coach and vice versa, and I think we would all agree in that. Second of all, the second way that this is going to be used is when a college coach logs into the system. Now, when a college coach visits Aim High for the very first time, they are taken to a page that directs them to give us all of their contact information, the school they're with, their email address, their phone number, their sport, and so on and etc. Our IT department is going to call the university, they're going to get in touch with the athletic department, they're going to verify that this coach is who they say they are before they're allowed access into the system. We want to keep this very private, we want to keep it very intimate, and we do not need anyone outside of the coach's level. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, we don't need any personalities viewing the kids' profiles that should, and I think we would all agree in that. When a coach logs in with his login and his password, it's going to direct him to a screen or her to a screen to where they're going to be able to put in a particular sport, a particular position, left hand, right hand, all the parameters detailed involved with selecting a position or filling a need for the team's roster. They're going to be able to put down within drop-down boxes. Once those drop-down boxes are filled, they'll be able to click submit, and up comes a list of all of the team or all of the players, student athletes in the country in Aim High's profile that fit these parameters or close to. Folks, keep in mind something right here, and I just want to touch on something. There's a lot of things that separate us from the two other large corporations in America that are doing business like we do it today. First and foremost is the cost. We could all agree on that. Second of all is the personal touch. All of our recruiters live in the communities where they serve, where their athletes are recruited from. And last but not least, we don't charge the universities a fee to be able to have access to the athletes within our system. You know, as far as the process goes with the other two companies, pay attention if you will for me. This is very important. When a university needs to fill spots within their sport, they fill out sheets, they send those sheets to the home office of the other two companies. Those other two companies collect those sheets, they then send those out to the recruiters they have nationwide in different markets. Those recruiters then go through those sheets, they look through their own personal databases within their own personal markets and regions that they control. They fill the information, they fill out those sheets, they send the sheets back to the home offices, and then the home offices then distribute them back to the coaches at the university level. I don't know if this is a 2-week process, a 3-week process, or a 1-week process. I can tell you this, when a college coach, university level, needs to fill the shoes for a prospective position on his or her sport on their roster, all they have to do is log into Aim High Incorporated with the push of a few buttons, fill in the parameters of exactly what it is he or she's looking for, click submit, and lo and behold, up comes a list of all of the student athletes that fit those parameters within the nation with the push of one button, done in 1 minute, in 1 day, from one office. So once again, it takes all of the middleman out and the lag time and everything else, and that's another reason why coaches at the university level love us and are experiencing and visiting us every single day. There's no easier way. We make their jobs as easy as they could possibly be. With that being said, you'll flip to the next page, and this is an actual blown up sheet of an active profile page. This is exactly what it looks like. We like to have it nice and large. It's very legible. You can read it very easy. One thing you'll notice with our profile page, first of all, the colors are great. The presentation is exceptional, very user-friendly. And as you'll notice on the left-hand side of the page, the personal info, scholastic info, statistic, athletic information, all of these tabs are all working. And when one of those tabs is individually clicked on, all of that information will then expand into the center of the page, hence the white area that you see there on the sheet. Another thing at the top, the coach's profile, they can email the athlete. Obviously, they're only going to email the athlete within the NCAA guidelines, rules, and regulations contact periods, because an email is considered just like a phone call. Keep in mind, another great thing with our system, a student athlete is allowed to call a coach or university as many times as he or she wants. Also considered email. Email is just like a phone call. It's another way why we put the dynamics in the home of the student athlete so that he or she can work their profile. They can forward that profile to as many coaches as many times as he or she wants all over the country. It's just like a phone call. If a university coach would like to contact a high school coach to ask some additional information and get a better feel from an exact or immediate mentor of the student athlete, they have that option to do that as well. And then also you'll see at the top where they're forwarding that profile. Once they've picked that school, they've collected that letter, and they want to go ahead and send that information forward, that's where that's done there as well. So once again, it's just a very nice, very clear way to explain exactly how the student athlete's profile works and the benefits that they receive there. Moving on.